Hello and welcome to Midday Update. Coming up are the headlines for the day. GC denies rumours regarding exemption of PCR test for Omani travellers. OIA contributes 5 billion Omani riyals to Oman's general budget. Oman government employee who embezzled orphans' funds gets 5 years in jail. CDAA puts out fire in a vehicle. Ireland to remove mask-wearing rules among other COVID-19 restrictions. President Biden announces new sanctions against Russia. EU agrees to Russia sanctions package. India versus Sri Lanka, Team India look to continue dominant run in T20 internationals. Eyes on Bishnoi and Venkatesh. Those were the headlines. We'll take a short commercial break and we'll be back with the COVID-19 updates for the day and the local stories. Stay tuned.
The advancement of the Fourth Industrial Revolution has given rise to a digital economy where humans and machines collaborate to leap ahead on innovation and profitability through the use of artificial intelligence. In the banking and financial sector, Nebula AI can enable applications to boost risk management, improve data-backed decisions and security, and enhance customer experiences. Banks could automate routine tasks, accelerate risk calculations and fraud detection, and enhance customer service with conversational AI. AI is changing all the rules of how companies operate. Let us help you get there.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
We at TTV are coming up with a new show. In which we'll be discussing about retail, hospitality, aviation, education, and various other sectors so that you keep abreast of all the latest updates in the country. So let's talk every Monday at 8 p.m.
Welcome back. Now for the COVID-19 updates for the day. 0 new COVID-19 related deaths have been registered in the Sultanate in the last 24 hours. Meanwhile, as many as 974 new cases of coronavirus were registered, which brings the total number of positive COVID-19 cases to 378,922. Now for the local stories. The Government Communications Centre has denied rumours circulating on social media about exempting Omanis from the PCR examination who are coming from the United Arab Emirates. There is no truth to the audio recording circulating about exempting Omani travellers from the United Arab Emirates from the PCR examinations, GC said in a statement. GC added that people coming to the Sultanate of Oman through the border port must present a certificate of receiving 2 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine and a negative result of COVID-19 PCR test that does not exceed 14 days. Since 2016, the Oman Investment Authority has in total contributed 5 billion Omani riyals to Oman's general budget, Sheikh Nasser bin Sulaiman Al Harthi, acting vice chairman for operations of the Oman Investment Authority, said. Al-Harthi indicated that the governance and rationalization work adopted by the authority and its subsidiaries during 2021 contributed to saving about 80 million Omani riyals and is expected to save about 120 million Omani riyals during 2022 and 2023. A government employee in the Sultanate of Oman was fined about 1.2 million Omani riyals and imprisoned for 5 years for embezzling 1.2 Omani million riyals from orphans and minors. The state's Financial and Administrative Audit Institution said in its annual report that the head of the Inheritance Department was embezzling the money of orphans and minors and misusing his position to achieve his personal benefits. He was receiving cash, and instead of depositing it in the court's account, he was unjustly using it for his personal purpose. A fire that broke out in a vehicle has been extinguished by the Civil Defence and Ambulance Authority in South Al-Batana Governorate. The firefighting teams of the Civil Defence and Ambulance Department in the Governorate of South Al-Batana were able to put out a fire that broke out in a vehicle in the Wilayat of Barka without registering any injury, CDA said in a statement. We'll take a short break and we'll be back with the international stories and the sports stories. Stay tuned.
The advancement of the Fourth Industrial Revolution has given rise to a digital economy where humans and machines collaborate to leap ahead on innovation and profitability through the use of artificial intelligence. In the banking and financial sector, Nebula AI can enable applications to boost risk management, improve data-backed decisions and security, and enhance customer experiences. Banks could automate routine tasks, accelerate risk calculations and fraud detection, and enhance customer service with conversational AI. AI is changing all the rules of how companies operate. Let us help you get there.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
We at TTV are coming up with a new show. In which we'll be discussing about retail, hospitality, aviation, education, and various other sectors so that you keep abreast of all the latest updates in the country. So let's talk every Monday at 8 p.m.
Welcome back to Midday Update. Now for the international stories for the day. Ireland will remove the rules of mandatory mask wearing in indoor public facilities and on public transport starting from February 28th, said the Irish government on Tuesday. Meanwhile, the specific protective measures currently in place in primary and secondary schools, as well as in early learning and school-age childcare facilities, will also be removed, said the government in a statement. The specific measures aimed at protecting local primary, secondary and preschool children include pods, social distancing and staggering breaks, it added. Pods refer to the practice that students must be grouped in a limited number while participating in an activity. The statement also said that from the end of this month on, people who show symptoms of COVID-19 will no longer need to take a test except pregnant women, elders and people who have a high-risk medical condition or are immunocompromised. But they must self-isolate themselves until 48 hours after the symptoms resolve, it said, adding that people who are in close contact of a confirmed COVID-19 case will also no longer need to have a test except healthcare workers who are identified as a household close contact. Following the implementation of these newly announced rules, nearly all the COVID-19 restrictions in Ireland will be removed. US President Joe Biden on Tuesday announced new sanctions against Russia and called President Vladimir Putin's moves in eastern Ukraine the beginning of a Russian invasion. This comes after President Vladimir Putin recognized the independence of breakaway regions Donetsk and Luhansk and ordered Russian troops there. Speaking on the Russia-Ukraine crisis from the White House, Biden also called Putin's moves the beginning of a Russian invasion of Ukraine as he announces new sanctions against Moscow. We are implementing full blocking sanctions on two large Russian financial institutions, VEB and their military bank, Biden said, adding, "We are implementing comprehensive sanctions on Russia's sovereign debt. This means we have cut off Russia's government from Western financing. It can no longer raise money from the West and cannot trade in its new debt on our markets or European markets either." Following Putin's announcement, Biden on Monday signed an executive order that will prohibit all new investment, trade and financing by US persons to, from or in the so-called Donetsk and Luhansk People's Republic. French Foreign Minister Jean-Yves Le Drian confirmed on Tuesday that EU sanctions against Russia had been unanimously agreed to by the bloc's top diplomats. EU Foreign Affairs Chief Josep Borrell said the raft of penalties will hurt Russia and it will hurt a lot. The measures will target the 351 lawmakers who voted in favor of the recognition, along with 27 individuals and entities who threatened Ukrainian territory and sovereignty, Borrell said. A draft proposal of the sanctions said all those who were involved in the illegal decision in Ukraine would be personally targeted by sanctions. Banks financing the Russian military and other operations in those territories are also included. The measures will now be formally approved by Brussels as part of the EU's response to Russian President Vladimir Putin's recognition of two breakaway regions in Eastern Europe. Putin himself was not on the sanctions list. Our action today is a response to Russia's aggressive behavior, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said of the sanctions. If Russia continues to escalate this crisis that it has created, we are ready to take further action in response, she added, also stressing the need for the EU to be less dependent on Russia for gas. And now for the sports story. After clinching the T20 International Series against West Indies, Team India will now look to carry their form into the three-match series against Sri Lanka beginning Thursday. India and Sri Lanka will square off in 3 T20 internationals and 2 tests, with the first match of the series to be played in Lucknow on Thursday. The likes of Virat Kohli, Rishabh Pant and Shardul Thakur have been rested for the series against Sri Lanka, and hence it will give a chance to the likes of Ruturaj Gaikwad and Shreyas Iyer to show what they are capable of. The duo failed in the third T20 international against West Indies, but they would hope that they impress against Sri Lanka. Jasprit Bumrah is also back for the series against Sri Lanka, and the bowling attack will get strengthened further. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar showed what he's capable of in the series against Windies, and that emerged as a big positive. However, the highlight over the last week has been Venkatesh Iyer. The way he has managed to finish off matches for India has been a big sign, and if he manages to improve his bowling, the management can have a world-class all-round bowler. Talking about Sri Lanka, the side suffered a 1-4 defeat at the hands of Australia, and the side was let down by batting time and again. Skipper Dasun Shanaka would hope that the batting side gets the act together and is able to give a tough fight to the Team India. Those were the local, international and sports stories for the day. For more updates, stay tuned and keep watching TTV.
You've just heard the live feed from the TTV studios on TFM 95.4. Let's talk.